I left about a half a mile ago, and I just hit the worst part of this trail because you have to obviously travel along A82, as you just saw, to pick the trailhead back up. So hopefully I can do that without getting hit by a lorry, as they say in the UK. So I'll put my head forward and see if I can avoid doing that. See you back on the trail. Just walked into one of these really old growth forests again, and it's funny how when you get inside of them the light just dims way down and it just gets unbelievably quiet. So it's pretty neat. See you back on the trail. Well, I'm almost 3 miles now, and I'm still climbing uphill, and it's all straight uphill, and it's all, a butt kicker to say the least. Anyway, take a couple breaths here and get back at it. See you on the trail. Well, I'm out of that heavy forested area, and I can see the sky, and I can see daylight, and I can see that it's not raining. That's good. Just hit the 3.5 mile mark, and I'm not climbing quite as steep as I was. But this area that I'm walking through right now, during World War II, was a lumber operation that was ran by the Canadians. They had come here and set up a camp and a small narrow gauge railroad to support the war effort, and a significant amount of timber was needed, and so they were here as kind of the support behind the scenes, so to speak, as many people were during World War II. So, oh my gosh, look at that. I can see the valley ahead, and I can see a clear sky ahead. It just may be a cracking day, you know, a bloody cracking day today. See you on the trail. It is 11 a.m. and I have about 11 and a half miles to go now. So climbing up that, whatever you want to call it, dozer trail straight to heaven, basically. It took a lot of time to get up that section. But anyway, now that I'm out here on some more easier ground to walk on, I was thinking back about a story dealing with the media. And if you're an officer in the fire department, and you know at some point in time you're going to have to deal with the media, and you also know that at some point in time when you deal with the media, they're not going to report what you said. That don't sell stories. They're looking for something exciting, something to really catch everybody's eye for longer than 24 hours. So that happened to me one day. I had to talk to the media. The story didn't come out the way that I thought it should have came out. I crawled into the battalion chief's office. I had a great battalion chief at the time. His name was Jerry Hunter. So here I come into his office. I start to tell him about the terrible newspaper article. And he looks at me and says, "Larry, don't ever worry about what the media reports. Their product lines the birdcage tomorrow morning." I thought, that's why that guy's the chief. And after that little life lesson, I moved on. I didn't give them much of a thought. I thought they were writing something that was really cool. So just remember that little token of information. Put that in your toolbox. Take care. I got to get this next 11 miles wrapped up somehow. You remember when you were a kid and you were far away from home and you'd get a flat tire on your bike? And this was before we gave every 10-year-old a cell phone. So you had to limp that bike with the flat tire all the way home. And you'd hear that tire flopping over and over again. Well, I just hit mile 11. I know I have at least 7 more to go. And my bike feels like it has a flat tire right now. It's pretty amazing scenery out here, though. Reminds me of San Bernardino a little bit. See you back on the trail. quite a bit here, which is good. But you get to thinking about all the funny things that happen to you when you're in the fire department, and believe me, there's a lot of them. But one day I got a call for an investigation. I was working a shift on engine 22, and it was an investigation regarding some kind of contamination in the front yard of a residence. I thought, well, that's kind of different. We don't normally have something like that happen. So we drove out there, and there wasn't really anything there. Some green pond water by the curb, and that looked like about it. And so I rang the doorbell. A lady came out, and she points to the end of the street and says, every time that guy at the end of the street washes his front yard out, we end up with all this down here. So I said, well, okay, I'll go down there and ring his doorbell and talk to him about what's going on. It really wasn't a fire department issue, but I was there, and I'll just go down and check it out anyway. So myself and the firefighter that was working with me that day, Dan Cogan, you remember this call, we got to the house, and there was a big pond in the front yard, and there was a bridge that went over the pond to the front door. That was the only way you could get to the front door. So Dan and I started up onto the bridge, and we got about halfway up on the bridge, and laying on the bridge was an alligator, probably somewhere in the neighborhoods of 5 to 6 feet long. Now this is in a regular old bedroom community, right? So I froze, and Dan froze because when I froze, he walked into the back of me. And I remember distinctly saying to Dan, do you think that's a real alligator, or do you think that's just a prop? And it was at that moment that alligator started to decide it wanted our space and came towards us. And I backed up and just about ran over Dan, who was a pretty physically fit guy, as fast as we could do to get off that bridge away from that alligator. And as it turned out, this guy was raising alligators in his front yard, and nobody had really ever paid attention to it. So, and he had named them Bonnie and Clyde, believe it or not. There was 2 of them. So animal control came. They had to figure out what to do with it because we decided it wasn't our world anymore. So anyway, a good old alligator story for the walk, eh? Wow, look at this. I'm in one of those areas that's been replanted, and all the trees, there's hundreds of them in here. I mean, literally hundreds that are all in the 4 to 6 feet range that have all come back into the area that they replanted. And on the other side of the road, or the trail right now that I'm on, it's the same thing, but they've planted a different variety of tree. It's really neat to see. I've only got like 5 miles to go, so I'm pretty excited about that. Take care. See you on the trail. It's been a bloody cracking day. I just hit the 15-mile mark at around 2 p.m. So I'll be dropping back towards Inverness and dropping back down towards the canal. So I'll talk to you when I get back to the canal. See you on the trail. We just hit the 17.5 mile mark, and I see that we're joining back up with our old friend, the Caledonian